Welcome back. We have Mike White here from Floyd Hunter Injury Law Firm to talk about teen driving safety. Good to have you here.
Good to be back.
Appreciate
Thanks.
it. You guys do all kinds of injury law.
We do all types of injury law, but predominantly auto and truck wreck cases.
All right, and this is a big deal within what you do, I'm sure, is the teen driving and all the distractions that teens have.
It really
days.
is. There are two real things to concern yourself with teen driving. One, the huge prevalence of accidents with teenagers. Teenagers are about, according to the Center for Disease Control, about 3 times as likely per mile driven to have an accident. And the #1 cause of death for teenagers nationally is auto accidents. So you want to cut down on accidents and then find ways to make them less dangerous when you do have an accident.
You know, I can remember when I had just gotten my license when I was 16 and everyone saying, oh, she's so young and she's going to be out on the road by herself. And I thought, I'm not that young. This is no big deal. But now that you know that I'm older, you think about a 16-year-old having a license out there with everyone else.
Sure.
You know, it's a scary thing.
No experience.
Right.
And the people that have the least experience, like kids, are the ones to be more offended and bothered by saying, be careful, or drive slower, or do whatever you need to do.
Absolutely. You were talking about some kind of law that Alabama has, that it's...
Alabama has a progressive driver's license law so that teens need to have a permit for at least 6 months to drive on their own. They cannot drive between midnight and 6 a.m. with some exceptions for church and doing certain things, going to school or work. And they have to have, can't have but one person, teenager with them at a time for a certain age. It's complicated, and it'd be easy to look it up for the state, al.gov, and look up there, but it keeps from having, like when I got my license when I was 15, if you can imagine, I could take 8 people with me because cars were big back then and go drive around, and you know, you just don't have that, and that's a good thing that Alabama's done.
We're talking about texting and driving earlier, and you know, since you guys do injury law, and let's say someone does get hit by a teen that's texting or something like that, avoiding that type of lawsuit, I guess, you know, parents avoiding that type of lawsuit.
One thing that's as simple as anything I know of is require your kids to keep their phones in the trunk. I have one of my good friends who had 3 kids driving that were teenagers at once, and his daughter they always had to do, but his daughter once didn't. She looked down and she ran into a tree of all things going around a curve. It's a real simple thing to do. We have the first generation of drivers that have never been without a phone. People get their kids' phones when they're 10.
Right.
So it's it gets progressively harder.
Absolutely.
But distracted driving is the single biggest cause of accidents among teens. And then just wearing a seatbelt. Teenagers, 2/3 of the deaths for teenagers nationally, which is you know, almost 2,000 people just for those. They're not wearing a seatbelt. So.
Right. Very, very important. We do a lot of stories on that. Mike, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having us again.
We appreciate it. All right, we'll be right back.